Over these last days, we've been reading the story from Genesis, and this person of Joseph figures prominently and certainly illustrates the truth from one of the Psalms. The stone rejected by the builder has become the cornerstone. Joseph had been rejected by his brothers in an earlier passage in Genesis, thrown into a cistern and left for dead. However, he was eventually rescued by some travelers and brought into Egypt. There, his natural talents and abilities ensured that he rose in the Egyptian hierarchy and their civil service. Eventually, he had the responsibility for distributing food to the hungry in this time of great famine. Egypt's reserves of food meant that it remained a source of food for other people who were beset by great famine. And so it happened that when Jacob's own brothers came from the land of Israel to look for food, it was Joseph who had the power and the ability to meet their need. This rejected stone had become this cornerstone for them, for his brothers. What we reject can sometimes turn out to be of crucial importance for us. Our initial response to say no to something or even to someone might not always be the best response. Yet our saying no can itself serve God's purpose. Just as the brothers' rejection of Joseph ended up serving God's purpose for many people. Jesus is the supreme example of that stone rejected by the builders becoming the cornerstone in our New Testament story of faith. The rejection of God's Son went on to serve God's purpose for all of humanity. Among those who rejected Jesus was one of the 12 he chose in today's gospel reading. And of course, when we read the Gospels and they list the names of all the apostles, it's all written in retrospect, insofar as even today it says, and Simon and Judas Iscariot, who betrayed Jesus. He's always listed in that, Judas Iscariot, who betrayed Jesus. In the writing of the gospel after the death of Jesus, when Judas is named, he's always listed as the one who betrayed him. He never loses that title. And it's a sad title to have for the rest of eternity. Yet even Judas' betrayal of Jesus came to serve God's greater purpose of revealing God's unconditional love for all of humanity. The story of Joseph and Jesus reminds us that in the words of Paul's letter to the Romans, all things work together for good for those who love God. In that same letter to the Romans, Paul says, hope does not disappoint. God is always at work to bring some good even out of our failures. God is even at work to bring some good even out of our failures. That gives me a lot of hope because I've failed a lot.